Ethan and I were the internet's favorite power couple. But at my birthday gala, his attention got stolen by another girl. He said she perfectly matched his ideal type, even finding her calculated moves endearing. He broke off our engagement for her. When reporters asked about me, his ex, Ethan calmly stated, "Ivy's a great woman, but I need to live for myself now." Later, he'd regret marrying that girl. Our social circle always said Ethan and I were perfect for each other. Matching family fortunes, compatible looks, and most importantly, we weren't some arranged marriage. We'd been together since 16, each other's first love. Friends envied our story, saying we'd claimed the ultimate luxury in elite circles, genuine love captured in our teens. Just as I prepared to marry Ethan, she appeared. At my birthday party, my childhood friend Emma brought this flashy red-dressed girl. "Meet my friend Chloe," Emma introduced. "Her family's in copper mining." My mental Rolodex spun, having grown up in this world. I knew all major industry families. No Peters clan-dominated domestic copper. I resented Emma bringing an outsider unannounced. Our circle's exclusivity wasn't snobbery but self-preservation. Too many social climbers tried infiltrating. This Chloe radiated trouble. Dressed like a scarlet macaw, she fluttered around the venue more conspicuously than me, the actual hostess. Within hours, she'd collected every guest's contact. When the hired K-pop singer finished performing, Chloe grabbed the mic uninvited. "Let me sing for Ivy's birthday." Her sultry voice and hip-swaying moves drew stares. My best friend Sophia sneered. "Where'd you find this peacock? She's not celebrating, she's husband hunting." "I don't even know her," I protested. "Emma's +1. Sophia deleted Chloe's contact with a scoff. "Hear how chummy she acts. People think you're besties." I dismissed Chloe, another social climber to block from future events. But then she targeted Ethan. After her performance, she marched to him phone in hand. "Let's connect." Ethan smiled politely. "My girlfriend wouldn't appreciate that." "Don't be silly," Chloe pouted, turning to me. "You're not that insecure, right, Ivy?" My smile froze. "First, I don't know you. Stop acting so familiar. Second, I didn't invite you to my birthday. Leave now." I signaled security to escort her from the ballroom. Ethan held me close and chuckled. Didn't realize my Ivy could be so possessive. Truthfully, I just hated opportunists trying to exploit my family connections while treating me like a fool. Chloe barely left when Ethan's assistant Lucas arrived, summoning him outside, assuming it was work-related. I didn't question it. But when Ethan didn't return after half an hour, staff informed me his brand-new Bugatti had been sideswiped by a red Porsche driven by Chloe. Wrapping my fur coat tighter, I found the shivering girl in her flimsy dress tearfully apologizing to Ethan. "I'll cover all repair costs. Mr. Miller, please let me make this right." Ethan looked irritated but waved her off. "Just call a driver." Chloe bit her lip. "Ethan, you're too kind. Let me at least take you to dinner as apology." She pulled out her phone for his contact. To my disbelief, he agreed. I strode over. "Chloe, you drove drunk." "Lucas, call the police." The assistant hesitated until Ethan intervened. "Enough. Let her get a rideshare." My temper flared. "Her car was 3 rows behind your Bugatti. Only a drunk driver could have swerved that far. What's wrong with reporting this?" When Lucas remained frozen, I dialed 911 myself. Ethan glared. "Must you be so ruthless?" We'd clashed before, but never over some random girl. As officers led away the trembling Chloe, Ethan sighed. Was this necessary? Absolutely. Women lose charm when they're this overbearing. I stared at him coldly. "Ethan, I'm Ivy. My existence isn't about being charming. We parted in frosty silence. Days later during lunch, Sophia nudged her martini. I know you're the untamed heiress. But give Ethan some slack. His company's bleeding money, of course he's stressed. I twirled my steak knife. Stress doesn't excuse enabling drunk drivers. Sophia smirked. Says the queen who totaled 2 Lamborghinis before getting her license. Those were private roads. Exactly. You've never needed rules. But Ethan's fighting to keep his family empire. Maybe cut him some. Her phone buzzed with breaking news. Ethan spotted escorting Chloe into Michelin-starred Aqua. My fork clattered. On screen, the girl from the parking lot now wore Ethan's tuxedo jacket. All doe-eyed gratitude under paparazzi flashes. Sophia groaned. Shit. That's today's reservation I helped you book for your anniversary. Ice crystallized in my veins. Cancel my afternoon. I need to visit the Miller Group headquarters. Wait. You can't just. Watch me. The tabloid photo burned behind my eyelids. Ethan's father had warned me last Christmas, my son will always choose survival over sentiment. Now I understood. But the Taylors didn't raise pushovers. If Ethan wanted war, he'd get it. Thinking about it, it made sense. Ethan had just taken over the family business and was still finding his footing. A bunch of uncles and senior executives kept undermining his authority, creating endless headaches. I was about to send him a text when I saw the hostess leading a couple to the prime waterfront table by the window. So that's why I couldn't reserve that spot tonight. Chloe's apology dinner. Ethan still showed up. I deleted my drafted peace offering and typed instead, let's break up. Send. Ethan set down his phone as if sensing something, scanning the room until his eyes locked with mine. I grabbed my coat and turned to leave, but he caught up immediately. Ivy. Stop being dramatic. Chloe hurried over too. Ivy. Please don't misunderstand. Stay out of this. I snapped at her before facing Ethan. I'm not joking. I'm done with you. His expression darkened. You'll regret this. Ivy. I thought ending our years-long relationship would devastate me. Instead, I felt nothing. My parents had always said I wouldn't need arranged marriages, that I could marry for love. I used to believe Ethan was that love. But tonight, watching him across the restaurant, I realized my feelings weren't strong enough to fight over him with another woman. During my months in France expanding Taylor Group's operations, Ethan called several times. I let every one go to voicemail. Then his text came, Chloe and I are getting together. Does that bother you? The message only confirmed I'd made the right choice. Early breakup meant early freedom, sparing myself months of this nonsense. I replied, do whatever. He fired back instantly, you really don't care anymore. Do you? Days later, Ethan paraded Chloe as his official girlfriend at an industry gathering. Even Sophia was baffled. Is he brain damaged? Can't he see she's a gold digger? Maybe he doesn't mind. I shrugged. People who want you for money will eventually stab you for money. Not my problem anymore. Knowing I was over Ethan, Sophia started sending me screenshots of Chloe's social media for our gossip sessions. Scuba diving. Baking classes. $150 afternoon tea spreads. Ski trips, perfectly curated to impress netizens imagining wealthy heiress vibes. But any real trust fund kid could spot the try-hard fakeness. No actual rich girl would post 8 selfies over basic daily routines. Still, credit where due, Chloe was stunning. With killer curves that made netizens hail her as a goddess. Her influencer friends accidentally leaked our queen's taken. Dating Ethan. Heir to Miller Enterprises. Netizens quickly caught on frowny face wait. Isn't the eldest son of the Miller family Ethan Miller? What? He and Ivy Taylor broke up? The online frenzy spread rapidly. That evening, our parents learned about our split through trending hashtags. I was urgently summoned back to the States. The Taylors and Millers are old money families. A breakup wouldn't normally matter. But we'd been engaged. Had Ethan kept his head, he should have informed both families first. We could have jointly announced the dissolution of our engagement before his public debut with that new girlfriend. This mess makes me look like discarded goods. Humiliating the Taylors. Mr. Miller exploded. Have you lost all sense? You're throwing away decades of decorum over some gold-digging tramp. Apologize to Ivy immediately. That Chloe creature will never be welcome here. Mrs. Miller even slapped him twice across the face to appease me. My parents were livid initially, but seeing the Millers' firm stance and my composed demeanor, they agreed to let it go. After hours of drama, Ethan and I exited the Taylor estate separately. Chloe waited at the gates. Seeing the handprint on his cheek, she lunged at me like a rabid animal, striking me hard across the face. I stood stunned. Ivy Taylor doesn't get slapped. Ever. After 3 seconds of disbelief, I coiled to retaliate. Ethan shoved her behind him while she shrieked, "Hate me all you want. But how dare you hurt Ethan?" My hands shook with rage. Move. Ethan. One slap settles this. He blocked my path. This eye for eye nonsense needs to stop. She'll apologize. Okay? Hit me instead if you must. I barked laughter, playing hero now. Coward? My knee smashed upward into his groin. His howl echoed through the courtyard as he crumpled. Slaps? Please. This was satisfying. Security guards froze before scrambling to alert our parents. Both sets came running. My father roared, "Who the hell do you think you are? Touching my daughter?" I stopped him. "I'll handle this." Grabbing Chloe's collar, I delivered 3 stinging slaps. Disappear. Now. She glared defiantly. Ethan tried rising, only to get kicked down by his own father. You idiot! You let outsiders attack Ivy? High society circles value alliances over teenage dramas. Some families you never cross, the Taylors top that list. But love-drunk Ethan forgot. Chloe wailed, "Sir. She attacked Ethan. How can you side against your own son?" My mom couldn't help but laugh at this. It was the first time we'd seen someone lecturing Mr. Miller on basic decency. Mrs. Miller turned livid. "Who do you think you are?" She snapped. "This is family business. What gives you, an outsider, the right to interfere?" Mr. Miller composed himself with visible effort. "Ethan, you will break up with her this instant. The Miller family won't tolerate such troublemakers." But Ethan, usually so compliant, shocked everyone by standing his ground. "I won't break up with Chloe. She's the one I truly love." He pointed at me. "I'm done coddling her whims." Mom. Dad. Did you really think I'd let you sell your own son to curry favor with the Taylors? As he shielded Chloe protectively, sealing the fate of our 6-year relationship, his parents trembled with rage. Burying my own turmoil, I applauded sarcastically. If this is true love, by all means, live happily ever after. I'd stumbled upon Chloe's secret by accident. During a charity gala, while scrolling through her Instagram feed showcasing freshly baked pastries, Nathan plopped down beside me. "That photo looks familiar," the notorious playboy remarked. I shrugged. "She's my ex's new flame. Quite the social media darling." Nathan shook his head, unlocking his phone to show Crystal's identical pastry post. Same plating. Same cake. Even the walnut crumb placement matches. When I suggested they might be friends, Nathan laughed. "Your ex walked straight into a honey trap." Deep diving into Chloe's feed revealed more duplicates afternoon tea spreads, ski gear, designer bags. Even her charity release of pet store fish mirrored Crystal's posts. The red Ferrari Chloe flaunted? Crystal had posed with it weeks prior. Rich families want suitable matches, Nathan explained. So these agencies charge 6 figures to coach gold diggers, curate luxury Instagram personas, crash high society events, bag a wealthy husband. Though stunned, I stayed out of it. After all, Ethan insisted this was real love. The Millers universally opposed the relationship. Even his 80-year-old grandfather threw his cane in fury. But Ethan embraced his rebellious phase, stealing the family registry to marry Chloe. He drained his trust fund for what became the decade's most extravagant Manhattan wedding, royal heirloom rings, flowers flown from Holland, A-list celebrities galore. Not a single Miller attended. The internet ate up the star-crossed lover narrative. Viral hashtags trended, frowny face hashtag against the world. Reporters baited me with questions about being the ex. Chloe fidgeted nervously, but Ethan clasped her hand. Ivy's wonderful, but I need to live for myself now. Disappointment curdled in my chest. Moving on is natural, but disparaging past love? That's just poor form. After all, Ethan was the one who pursued me first. We shared 6 years filled with sweet moments. Back in college, Ethan nearly beat Nathan bloody when he found out Nathan was chasing after me. During our study abroad years, I stayed up all night nursing him through high fever, listening to him mumble wife in delirium. He used to proudly tell everyone we weren't some arranged match, that he'd choose me over any other girl. Now he acts like someone held a gun to his head during our relationship. Ethan's clearly fallen hard this time. When netizens accused Chloe of being a gold digger, he personally clapped back online, frowny face, only the people involved know the truth. Stop projecting your insecurities. Chloe grew up pampered in her own wealthy family. What could she possibly want from me? Before the wedding, close friends cautiously suggested Chloe's accidental car encounter with him seemed too convenient. Ethan just smiled, I see through it too. But she's the first person who's ever fit me like a puzzle piece. Even her little schemes feel endearing. The newlyweds made constant appearances during those first month's gallery openings, charity galas, luxury brand-sponsored golf tournaments. Tabloids grudgingly admitted they looked smitten. This was different from the Ethan who'd always hated social events. The one who'd rather die than make small talk with trust fund brats. I ran into them at a private art exhibition, surrounded by socialites. Chloe was theatrically analyzing a painting. This abstract expressionist piece truly captures nature's fluidity through its chromatic textures. Nearby guests offered polite murmurs. I nodded at acquaintances while passing through. But Chloe called out, "Ms. Ivy, what's your take on this masterpiece?" The crowd perked up, well aware of my history with Ethan. While art appreciation is commendable, Mrs. Miller, I said coolly, explaining paintings is what gallery staff get paid for. Patrons simply purchase what they like. You're overstepping. Her desperate attempt to prove cultural credentials was understandable, but dragging me into her performance reeked of amateur hour. Old money never dances for validation, we're the ones others perform for. As Chloe flushed crimson, Ethan stepped in. Must you always be so condescending, Ivy? She's just passionate about art. Then she should know this is futurism, not abstract expressionism. I gestured to the plaque everyone had ignored. It's literally labeled here. For the first time, I saw doubt flicker in Ethan's eyes as he glanced at his art school graduate wife. Whatever excuse Chloe concocted later clearly worked. Their social media kept flooding with couple photos afterward. Ethan Miller was determined to give Chloe Peters the dignity she deserved. At the art exhibition, he promptly purchased every piece she admired. The globally coveted ruby necklace from Hong Kong's autumn auction appeared around her neck at the next evening's gala. Through some maneuvering, Ethan even convinced the Miller family elders to let Chloe attend Grandpa Miller's birthday banquet amidst their high society peers. The event dazzled with celebrities. Chloe, clearly coached in etiquette, remained gracefully at Ethan's side rather than fluttering about. When I went to offer birthday wishes, I overheard Grandpa Miller remark, "If that boy's set on her, we'll tolerate her as long as she behaves properly." True to his word. The family portrait later featured Chloe beaming beside Ethan in the second row. Ethan couldn't wait to post the photo online. Where fans gushed, Chloe's perseverance finally paid off. And real love protects you from humiliation. Their triumph proved short-lived. When Nathan Clark exposed Chloe's enrollment in a high-society wife training program, the internet erupted. The old feud between Ethan and Nathan resurfaced. Everyone remembered how Ethan had broken Nathan's collarbone during their school rivalry over me. This time, Nathan struck back with damning evidence. Side-by-side comparisons showed Chloe and other socialites sharing identical afternoon tea setups, designer bags, and even the same $8,600 swimsuit and matching poolside photos. Beside me, Sophia Brown abandoned all decorum, gasping "Holy shit!" between mouthfuls of melon seeds. "You're not surprised at all, Ivy? Did you know?" I nodded, recalling how Emma Wilson had brought unfamiliar faces to my birthday party. My subsequent investigation revealed her family's financial troubles and their shady matchmaking schemes to raise funds. The banquet atmosphere curdled as Lucas Davis hurried to whisper urgent updates to Ethan. Across the room, Grandpa Miller's roaring anger abruptly ceased mid-outburst. Paramedics rushed in as the patriarch collapsed, while the Miller clan accompanied him to the hospital. Guests witnessed Ethan's cold rebuke to his new bride at the foyer. "Still following me? Want to finish what you started with Grandpa?" Leaving Chloe stranded under the crowd's judgmental gaze, Ethan stormed out without looking back. "Ethan!" I called out. "Please text me once Grandpa Miller is stable. He practically raised me, you know." Ethan nodded and vanished into the night. Thankfully, the old man's stroke had been treated in time. When I visited the hospital next morning, Chloe intercepted me at the entrance. Ivy," she stammered, breath visible in the freezing air. "Could you tell Ethan to check his messages?" Gone was her usual confidence. I frowned. "Why not go in yourself?" Her glance at the security booth explained everything. The Millers had banned her from entering. Inside, Ethan leaned against the corridor wall, stubbled and exhausted. "Your wife wants you to check your messages," I relayed. His tired eyes met mine. "Ivy, thanks for coming. About what happened between us. Grandpa taught me chess and calligraphy." I cut him off. "This isn't about you." As we exited, Chloe slipped on black ice. Ethan didn't even glance back. Online, Ethan's family photo had vanished. Chloe deleted her entire social media history overnight. But netizens had already archived everything. At the club that weekend, Fong Quan snorted over whiskey. Used to find her scheming cute, like a puppy begging treats. Now, his friend Lin Chin chuckled darkly. "More like realizing your lapdog's actually a wolf." When I asked about divorce proceedings, Fong shrugged. "Miller PR's already burying the scandal. Some pop star's dating leak should divert attention by tomorrow." But Nathan would never let this story die quietly. Ethan Miller had barely stepped off the trending topics when he dropped his second bombshell: internal documents this time. PowerPoint slides from elite socialite training. Nathan claimed Chloe had transformed from a small-town girl into a glamorous socialite using these very tutorials, ultimately catching Ethan's attention. The guide covered everything imaginable: wine vintages and regions, Michelin-starred hotspots, balloon ride destinations, scuba certification locations. It even specified that the H in Hermes stays silent and steak doneness should only be ordered in odd numbers. These curated conversation topics, typically requiring vast resources to acquire, were packaged like standardized test prep materials, a cheat sheet for marrying into wealth. Netizens particularly roasted the final slide's ominous instruction: memorize all above points for next week's pop quiz. Top comments joked, PTSD flashbacks to high school homeroom teachers. And the exam cramming model triumphs again. Others quipped, if Mrs. Miller works this hard, what's your excuse? The Miller family's PR efforts collapsed instantly under Nathan's exposé. Who cared about celebrity gossip when social climbing could be distilled into 60 PowerPoint slides? Yet the Millers couldn't touch Nathan. The Clarks' recent overseas investment windfalls made them immune to corporate retaliation. Life continued its charade. After Grandpa Miller's health stabilized post-botched birthday celebration, the family hosted a lavish makeup banquet. Guests meticulously ignored the ongoing scandals, their hollow pleasantries coaxing smiles from the patriarch. Our younger generation's table held fewer pretenses. Fong Quan leaned toward Ethan. Dude, figured out your move yet? Laying low for now. Ethan swirled his whiskey. Divorce would be too messy this early. What if she keeps harassing you? Security's locked down my penthouse and office. She can't get near. The liquor loosened his tongue as he addressed the table. Work stress was crushing me back then. Ivy, his gaze flickered to me. You remember how she blazed through life. Unstoppable. Pathetic as it sounds. I craved someone who'd orbit my world completely. Then Chloe appeared, gentle, accommodating, sharing all my interests. He shook his head bitterly. Turns out she'd just done her homework. Fong Quan clinked glasses with him. Still, throwing away decades of history with Ivy, yeah. Ethan murmured, eyes suddenly hopeful across the linen-clad table. Sophia cut in sharply, don't drag Ivy into this. She's busy romancing that gorgeous indie film actor. Way out of your league now. Alex? Ethan's jaw tightened. When I nodded, he sighed. Hated him since we watched his debut film together. The silverware clinked on as the banquet marched forward. Flawless and hollow. The commotion lasted until the end of the event when Chloe Peters showed up. Several junior family members smoking outside saw her arguing with security and immediately called Ethan Miller. Normally they'd have ignored her. But with guests preparing to leave and old Mr. Miller already rising with his son's support, Ethan had no choice but to descend. You finally came. Chloe rushed toward him. Though still beautiful, the past week's turmoil had drained her usual vivacity, leaving behind a wilted aura of self-pity. The crowd sneered, this circle despised grifters. Look who's here! The missus! Someone catcalled. You eaten yet? How do you like your steak this time? Another jeered. That friend Crystal's cute, hook me up. Quick quiz, which wine region's hot this year? Chloe bit her lip, fingers twisting her skirt hem. But Ethan no longer fell for her damsel act. Leaning against the wall with hands in pockets, he watched her squirm with dark amusement. Come with me, he finally said. Hope flashed in her eyes as she followed him to a side parlor. She thought he'd hear her out. Instead, Ethan nodded at staff to lock her in. Release her in an hour, he instructed, knowing the soundproofed wing would muffle any protests. Not that she'd dare make noise, she'd become strangely compliant since the scandal broke. Rubbing his temples, Ethan returned to bid guests farewell. Later, the younger crowd regrouped at their usual members-only lounge, the kind of discreet spot Ethan normally avoided. He'd only ever come here to drive me home after parties. Playing dutiful boyfriend. Since when do you hang? Asked Mark. The group's loudmouth. Need to unwind. Ethan accepted a whiskey from the bartender. His smile didn't reach his eyes. You guys are predictable. Where's wifey? Mark prodded. Shut it. Ethan's knuckles whitened around his glass. Just thinking about her gives me migraines. She's got nothing better to do than stalk me. Which is her full-time job. Mark snorted. The room hushed abruptly. Chloe stood behind them. Mascara smudged. You, Mark stammered. Ethan didn't bother turning. Who let her in? The doorman mumbled. She had a membership card. Snickers rippled through the crowd. Everyone remembered he'd personally sponsored her access during better days, introducing her to his world like some prized pet. Fine. Ethan finally faced her. Name your price. Go home. Think hard. Call my lawyer. He slid a business card across the bar. Chloe's tears fell. Ethan, please let me explain. I know exactly what you are. He walked away, leaving her trembling hands hovering over the card. The ice in his drink clinked like final punctuation. Ethan Miller was no longer the man who cared for her. His patience had worn thin. He didn't want to negotiate with her again under public scrutiny. Fine. If she won't leave, we'll settle this here. His fingers drummed impatiently on the bar counter, radiating intimidating pressure. Can we talk somewhere else? Speak now or get lost. Chloe hesitated before plunging into the abyss. Do you remember Chloe Peters? Ethan didn't recall. But I did. Before studying abroad, we'd volunteered at a rural high school during break. There'd been this girl with dusky skin and a flat nose bridge orbiting Ethan constantly, fetching him scalding water in winter, hand-washing his mud-splattered pants during rains. Meanwhile, I got no hot water and had to toss my laundry to Ethan. I'd once pinched his cheek, sneering, "You menace," collecting admirers everywhere. He'd protested, "Her? An admirer? Only someone like you counts." Chloe had been too ordinary, arguably plain-looking. For a golden boy like Ethan, such pedestrian affection was embarrassing. He forgot quickly, but I remembered how she'd lurked in shadows, watching us with furtive eyes that made my skin crawl. Later, her family's windfall from property demolition funded her cosmetic overhaul. She reinvented herself, new name, etiquette classes, finally marrying her once unattainable crush. Ethan. I meant it. Chloe sobbed. That seminar was my only way to reach you. Give me another chance? We were so happy. Now you just remind me how stupid I was. Ethan cut in icily. Name your price and disappear. Like I said. His words shattered her. Tears streaked her contoured face. But Ethan only snapped. Still here? She'd never understand. People like us drown in options and affection. Years of pining? Meaningless. Drastic changes? Irrelevant. We choose who we want, and discard what bores us. When Chloe kept sniffling, Fong Quan advised, "Take the deal. The Millers could have crushed you." She trembled like shattered glass, clinging to romantic ideals. Rumor said she delayed, but Ethan waited calmly, letting gossip fade before legal proceedings. Out of sight, out of mind. Wealthy heirs have endless evasion tactics. Ignored calls, blocked accounts. When Chloe reached Lucas, the assistant perpetually claimed, "Mr. Miller's in meetings." Only Ethan's legal team kept pestering, "Just name your figure." Once inseparable lovers, now divided by an insurmountable social chasm. Yet Ethan wasn't free from burdens. His uncle seized upon his romantic misstep to challenge his leadership capabilities at the family corporation. If he couldn't see through such an obvious scheme, how can he navigate corporate warfare without suffering catastrophic losses? They argued. His daily tabloid appearances tarnished the brand image. The young Mr. Miller needs more seasoning, they declared, first rallying grandfather Miller before storming the boardroom, threatening to strip his authority. That's when Ethan remembered me. The Millers and Taylors had always maintained close business ties. With my family's endorsement, his position as heir would solidify. I agreed readily. 3 percentage points more profit on this deal. And the Taylors stand with you, I stated. Have legal draft the amended contract. His eyes flickered with complex emotions. Ivy, he murmured. Has everything between us been reduced to transactions? I nearly retorted, what else remains? When his gaze softened. Truthfully, I'd give you any margin you asked for. I chuckled coldly. Dare offer and I'll take it. But emotionally? Don't presume. Are you serious about that, Alex? He pressed. My smile chilled. Ethan, I approach every relationship with sincerity. Refrain from rude inquiries or inappropriate requests henceforth. You must realize your current standing no longer matches mine. His head dipped. Yes. I'm the one who abandoned ship, leaving the signed contracts. I found Chloe waiting in my lobby. My security's laxness from favoring approachable management backfired, having failed to intercept Ethan at his office. She'd shifted tactics to mine. Observing her persistence, I mused this woman could have achieved greatness channeling such determination productively. Ethan's irritation flared as she pleaded in the crowded atrium. Ethan, give us another chance. I'll behave. His assistant Lucas already signaled security. Shielded by bodyguards, Ethan strode away as Chloe shouted desperately, do you regret it? Regret leaving Ivy for me? She clung to that old gamble, his dramatic choice of her over me years prior. Ethan paused. Turning slowly, he countered hoarsely, what do you think? Chloe? Would you? When her venomous gaze found me post-rejection, she sneered, must be gratifying. He came crawling back. Baffled, I retorted, since when do I collect others' discarded trash? Chloe. Not everyone covets what you value. Stolen prizes become used tissues, worthless ones soiled. As she sputtered protests, I pushed past, move. My boyfriend's waiting. Alex stood at the entrance wearing a baseball cap pulled low, waving at me with a grin visible from across the street. After nearly a year of chaos, Ethan had finally gotten divorced. Rumor had it Chloe hadn't taken a single cent. She'd chosen this way to prove her devotion to Ethan. Sophia gossiped with me, how stupid. She could have asked for enough to live comfortably for decades. You don't think she's actually waiting for Ethan to come crawling back? Do you? How should I know? I don't care. I doubt Ethan cares either, he's already dating someone new. When Ethan's second wedding approached, he brought his fiancée to a cocktail reception only to find his ex-wife greeting guests at the door. Chloe had long blown through her family's relocation compensation money, and since she'd refused the Miller family's funds, she now worked as the hotel's lobby manager. Ethan walked past without glancing her way. But some troublemaker called out, Mr. Miller, isn't this your socialite ex? Ethan remained impassive while Chloe immediately lowered her gaze. Fong Quan nearby casually dismissed it, you've mistaken her. His ex was far too accomplished to end up here. Ethan shot a nervous look at his fiancée before jokingly shoving Fong Quan. Must you keep bringing her up? Chloe stared blankly at their retreating figures. There was a time she'd stood among them, cherished at his side. But that time had passed.